36 to the head. I'm a crank on y'all. My guy's actually a cranker. No, he not. He a duo. Did you kill both of them? I need help. Oh my god.
Johnny.
Just spam me. Deshaun, shut up. Exactly. God, must. That's tough. Might just dance on him like that. And that boy got clap karma. Bot. Stupid. Oh. I know.
Brother was in 8th grade, he was selling candy for his school. I remember looking inside of his candy bucket and seeing my favorite candy. If I were you, big brother, I would eat all this candy.
No, nobody better eat this candy. If you do eat this candy, ooh.
It was clear to me and my other brother to not eat that candy. A few hours later, I got so hungry and I had a sugar tooth. And then I thought about my brother's candy, so I took a piece and started eating it in the bathroom. My dad called my name and I got scared. He said, "You can't eat me."
Yes, sir. Them henchmen are annoying, bro. Trying to. I hate Epic Games. Deshaun, can you arrest me? But please don't take any of my loot.
And I forgot all about that piece of candy.
Hey, I want to know who took a piece of candy, took a bite out of it, then threw it behind and stole it.
Oh my God, I'm about to be in so much trouble.
Was it you?
No.
Oh, so it was you.
No, it wasn't me.
Oh, so I guess we just got golf running around the house, huh?
It was me.
Oh, of course people are outside. That's a great thing. What do I get out of a chest? Of course it's always a pistol. That's one reason why I hate Fortnite. Wow, this game is so good. Stupid, I ain't gonna let you get the chance. Stupid. Alright, Keyshawn, I'm gonna drop your attack. god.
What are you two? So y'all gonna be on punishment? You mess up. A week later, my brother was like, bro, you and I both know it wasn't me. I know, I just don't want to get a spanking. Oh, so it was you. Come here. So when my oldest brother...
Okay. Okay.
You seem to be rather stuck. No, not in your life. Not literally in the ground either. I mean, your digestion. It happens to the best of us, don't it? Nothing like a good old-fashioned laxative to get things moving smoothly once again, though. But if you think you can just down that whole box based on the logic of, well, if one works, why not two? Why not four? Why not the whole thing? Then it's time to talk about exactly why you should pass on doing that. Today we're discussing exactly what happens to the body if you take too many laxatives. What are the consequences to your body if you do? And even look at some real-life examples of when someone took way over the recommended amount on accident. I'll tell you this, you can bet they had an accident. Am I running out of jokes yet? Better soften up that sense of humor, because I'm dropping loads of knowledge on the regular. Big time. Okay, that's enough. If you've ever wondered exactly what happens when a laxative enters your system, I don't blame you. It seems kind of crazy to think that by simply ingesting something, you can kickstart your innards and get what was once not working again. But that's exactly what they do. Laxatives, by definition, are medications that stimulate bowel movements, or will soften your stool so that things start going smoothly again. They're the main defense against constipation, which is when your body has either infrequent, painful, or difficult bowel movements. Many factors can cause constipation, so Brainerd, be sure to take note of what they are so you can be prepared. If you aren't eating enough fiber, eat a ton of dairy products, don't drink enough water, have a sudden change in your diet or activities, are stressed, aren't active, or get this one, overuse laxatives, you can find that what was once easy is now hard. What was once regular is now infrequent. What was once here is now absent. And you may need to seek out laxatives to get your digestion back to normal. There are quite a few types of laxatives too, and they work in different ways. As always, I recommend seeing a doctor first. But if you do want to try an over-the-counter option, then hey, if you find it doesn't work for you, then you have plenty of other options to choose from. Here are a few to look out for next time you're in the store, Brainerd. Bulk-forming laxatives are made up of certain types of fiber that are not absorbed by your intestines. Logically, because they aren't absorbed, they'll pass right on through, and this will cause you to go to the bathroom. Emollient laxatives are commonly known as stool softeners. They, you guessed it, soften your stool, but they do this by making your body pull more fat and water during the digestion process. Next up are lubricant laxatives. They work by adding an oily substance to your digestive tract and make it harder for your body to absorb water. Thus, things are much easier on the move. Hypersomnic laxatives cause more water to be drawn into your gut, and because of this, your constipation is relieved. Water is the body's natural lubricant, and if water is moved to your intestines, then they can definitely clear your pipes. Finally, stimulant laxatives are a type of medication that will speed up the movement of your intestines muscles. By making these muscles contract and move, which is the process called peristalsis, this will in turn move fluid through your intestine. Pretty darn amazing, huh? There are many, many options to choose from, and these don't even include the natural option, you know, like prunes or figs. They all work, so your cramping will be a thing of the past, and you can get back on track. Brainerd, I see you're giggling, and truthfully, yes, there is something inherently funny about today's subject, but I want to point out that if you're going to be taking a laxative, you should use the utmost care and take it seriously. These can be very powerful medications, and there can be quite a few side effects if you decide to take more than the recommended dosage, other than the obvious, which brings us to our question: just how many laxatives can you take in a day? First of all, I do not recommend you take more than the packaging or your doctor says. As you can expect, things can get pretty serious pretty quickly, and while there's nothing wrong with taking a normal measured dose, there are a ton of side effects that would occur as you took more and more throughout your day, until eventually you had to stop. Overuse of laxatives can cause you to become really dehydrated. I mean, it makes sense, right? After all, that water is now being added to your gut and has to come from somewhere, and it'll be drawn out of other areas of your body. Because of this, many people have used laxatives to lose weight, and quickly. But this is a quick fix, and a temporary one at that. Any weight loss that occurs would be from the loss of water in your body. As soon as you were hydrated again, well, the weight would come back. I highly recommend you do not do this, Brainerd. After all, the symptoms of dehydration include headaches, dizziness, low energy, dry skin, and more. Just stick to a healthy diet and the gym. It's tried and true for a reason. Another big reason taking laxatives should be treated with the utmost seriousness is an overuse of them to cause the electrolyte imbalance. The electrolytes in your system, things like potassium, sodium, chloride, calcium, phosphate, and more, are essential for your cells to work properly. If they're thrown out of whack, things can get really bad really fast. If an electrolyte imbalance occurs, seizures or even a coma could be the side effect. You heard this right. You overuse laxatives, you could very well find yourself in a hospital for quite a long time. If that's not enough for you to take these medications seriously, other side effects include rhabdomyolysis, which means your muscles start deteriorating, gastrointestinal damage, which can also manifest as long-term pancreatic damage, liver damage. These medications is absolutely no joke, and wolfing down as many as you can in a day to try to clear out your system is absolutely the wrong route to take. Just be patient. If you find that your first dose isn't working as intended, don't just start wolfing down more because you think it'll speed it up. These are a safe, effective way to treat constipation, but you have to let them do their thing. But people have absolutely taken more than the doctor ordered and been fine. In fact, they took the laxatives without the doctor's order in the first place because they accidentally took them. Case in point, author Abby Jimenez's husband accidentally took quite a few of X-Lax because he thought it was a bar of chocolate. Now, in his defense, we want to say that this particular laxative really did look like a bar of chocolate, and I get it. Sometimes you get that sweet tooth and you just can't help yourself. But in this case, it probably would have done him some good to take a closer look at exactly where the chocolate was from. We can tell you that the X in X-Lax doesn't stand for exotic. So what happened? Well, he ran to his wife in quite a bit of pain and completely terrified that he was really sick. But then when Abby found the wrapper for X-Lax and realized he'd eaten 12 doses of the laxative, yeah, she couldn't stop laughing. The recommended dose was 2. Needless to say, Abby's husband didn't feel too well, and when she shared the story on Facebook, it was shared over 62,000 times. Looks like quite a few people got a good laugh, while Abby's husband didn't. Another story of mistakenly taking laxatives was shared by Jamie Ream, who had a suspicion that his 56-year-old roommate was going through his medicine cabinet and stealing his prescriptions. Jamie decided to replace the contents of one bottle with laxatives and let his roommate have a little surprise if he decided to go through things that weren't his. Sure enough, the trap worked, and Jamie's roommate took the bait. So not only did he have a good laugh, Jamie was able to call the police on his roommate. And get this, turns out swapping the contents of the container with laxatives wasn't against the law. The police said it was because it was a substance that wouldn't kill a person who would take it, so there was nothing wrong. I guess the lesson here is, better think twice before going through your roommate's medicine cabinet now, huh? So that's the truth of laxatives, Brainyard. If used properly and in the right doses, they can be a safe and effective means to get you back in the game. As with all medicine, though, treat it with respect. If you aren't sure what the right dosage is, or what kind of laxative will work best with your body, then go see a doctor. They can help find exactly what will work best for you. And hey, don't go taking a whole bunch in one day because you're impatient and think they aren't working. There can be some pretty serious side effects, and you won't be feeling too hot either. As for taking them accidentally, we say double, no, triple check that label, or it's gonna be one not so bumpy ride.
Unfortunately, you're not quite ready to move on, so you decide to stick around for a while and keep an eye on your physical body. Little do you know, you're about to witness firsthand many of the funeral home secrets they don't want you to know. Since you're fairly young and your death was rather unexpected, you're going to need a post-mortem exam. And that's why you find yourself, or rather your body, safely stored in a freezer in the morgue in the basement of your local hospital. You watch with interest as the doctor removes your body from the freezer and prepares it for the post-mortem exam. They start with an external exam, looking for any obvious signs of injury or recent medical care, and taking note of any defining marks, like your freckles and tattoos. Your doctor dons a strange-looking face shield to start the internal exam, which seems a bit overkill to you, until he reaches for the saw. The doctor uses the saw to cut open your abdomen, from your pubic bone all the way up to your sternum, and to cut through your ribs to expose your chest cavity. At least they're careful not to cut too high so that your loved ones won't have to see evidence of the post-mortem exam during your funeral. You can't stop watching as the doctor proceeds to remove your organs one by one so that he can examine each of them by turn. They work in 3 blocks, starting with the thoracic area. First, they remove your lungs and heart, then loosen the skin up to your chin to get at your tongue and throat without leaving visible marks. Thanks, I guess. Next, they remove your liver, pancreas, stomach, and kidneys, and they finally take out your bladder, bowels, and reproductive organs. Now that your body is an empty cavity, the doctor turns their attention to your organs and examines each of them in turn. You find it hard to pay attention to what's happening on the bench, though, when your body is just laying there, empty. The doctor doesn't find any obvious damage to any of your organs, so they take samples to send for analysis, including a toxicology screening. After the samples are prepared, the doctor carefully returns your organs to your body, roughly where they belong, then carefully sews up your incisions. You're a little bit surprised to see that they also clean your body to remove any evidence of the post-mortem, and they even wash your hair for you. Finally, the doctor completes the report and releases your body to the funeral home. 2 attendants arrive to transport your body to the funeral home. They load up your body into a stretcher and gather up your clothes and personal belongings. You're relieved to see that your wallet makes it untouched into the bag with your possessions, but then "Hey," says one of the attendants, "this guy has a full Metro pass in his pocket. That has to be worth at least $50. I'm keeping this. Not like he's gonna miss it." They both have a good laugh at that as they wheel your body and belongings out to the waiting hearse. After a pretty bumpy ride, you follow your body into the funeral home and into yet another freezer. Who knew death was so chilly? Well, you'd better get comfortable. This is your home until the results of the post-mortem come in. Then your death can be registered and your embalming can begin. A little while later, you're not sure if it's hours or days. Time is pretty weird when you're dead. Your body is once again pulled from the freezer and placed on a table in the funeral home's dedicated embalming room. The funeral director comes in with the embalmer, chatting about the arrangements for your funeral. The public viewing is in 2 days, so we need the embalming done in time for the private family viewing tomorrow night, says the funeral director. No problem, says the embalmer. Did you tell them that embalming wasn't actually necessary, especially I could keep him on ice until the viewing and put a plastic suit under his clothes to manage seepage? It's cheaper, especially if they're just gonna cremate him.
Life is a very fragile thing no matter who you are. These NBA players are lucky to have made it out alive. Paul Pierce is a top player in NBA history. Someone who's won a championship, been to the All-Star game, and now works for ESPN. But Pierce's life was almost ended before any of this amazing stuff could have happened for him. Back on December 25th, 2000, Paul Pierce was at the Buzz Club, which is a club in the Boston Theater District, where he was stabbed 11 times. Pierce was stabbed in the neck, back, face, even had a bottle smashed over his head during the altercation. He had to undergo lung surgery to repair the damage that was done. Witnesses at the club said that Paul was trying to break up the fight before he was stabbed so many times. Pierce's former teammate at the time, Tony Bate, and his brother are the ones that saved Pierce's life by rushing him to the hospital after everything went down. The official ABC News report from September 25th, 2000 said Paul Pierce of the Boston Celtics was stabbed in the face, neck, and back while in the pool room of a nightclub early today and was listed in fair condition. The hospital wouldn't release any information that they knew. All they told the public was his condition. But after his head coach at the time, Rick Pitino, was leaving the hospital, he told reporters that he's doing fine. We're all hoping for a speedy recovery. The Buzz Club, which operated under a couple different people during the week, were cited for allowing an assault and battery on their premises. And the club had a few other charges, including at least 2 more assaults that had happened in the past year alone. Investigating witnesses reported that the altercation that Pierce tried to break up involved some members of the rap group Made Men, but no one was arrested. A former standout at Coach Casey Jones said this about Pierce's situation during an interview. He said, he's very lucky. He had the Angels on his side. Paul Pierce would go on to play all 82 games of the upcoming season, and almost 19 years later, Pierce finally talked about what he went through during this crazy time. Pierce had a lot to say about what the stabbing did to him. During an interview, he said, I was stabbed 11 times. I felt like I was trapped in a box. I couldn't go anywhere. I battled depression for a year. The only thing that saved me was basketball, so now I'm really paranoid. I don't want to go anywhere. Police sat in front of my house for months. I was a mess. I think that's the reason I got back on the court so fast. Me sitting at home thinking about the stabbing didn't work. I went to every practice, sat on the sideline for hours, because that's where I felt safe. I didn't want those practices to end, because I had to go back out there in this world that really scared me. On Christmas Eve of 2011 was the day that Lou Williams turned a robbery into a warm holiday meal. Lou was stopped in a car in Philadelphia when a man approached his car with a gun and had the intention to rob him. But when the robber realized that it was Lou Williams he was robbing, he changed his mind. Lou said the robber commended him for all that he's done for the community, and that's why he didn't rob him. During an interview, Lou explained why he thought the guy changed his mind about robbing him. He said, a guy tried to rob me but decided not to because of whatever I do in the community. He's a Lou Williams fan, so he didn't rob me. I treated him to McDonald's. Williams then gave the man some money for him to go and buy himself a meal at a local restaurant. During an interview after one of his games, he explained the situation by saying, I was debating whether to pull off or help the guy. The gun was already out. He did all the talking. And we came up with a solution. Before I could really say much, I treated him to McDonald's. Some people don't believe the story because of the way that everything happened. Because of a man robbing someone with a gun, stopped because of who he was, and then the man being robbed bought him a meal, and also the fact of where it took place. But Lou Will later went on to explain in the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson that he didn't go hang out with the guy at McDonald's and give him a meal and sit down and talk. Basically all that happened was, he took him straight to McDonald's, swiped his card so he could eat, and got out of there as quick as possible. Chandler Parsons is your average NBA player. He's a forward for the Atlanta Hawks, but was in a life-threatening car accident earlier this year, which could have potentially ended his basketball career forever. Parsons was hit by a drunk driver around 2 in the afternoon on January 15th, 2020, in his Atlanta suburb of Brookhaven while driving home after practice. Parsons' legal team explained what the drunk driver had been charged with during an interview. They said, the at-fault driver created utter chaos on the roadway, needlessly endangering the lives of countless motorists, and he now stands charged with DUI, admitted drinking, had alcohol in the car with him, passed out after causing a 3-car crash at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday in a busy intersection, seriously injuring and potentially ending Mr. Parsons' career as a professional athlete. Parsons endured injuries that not only potentially ended his basketball career, but some that could be a problem for the rest of his life. He suffered multiple severe injuries and had long-lasting injuries such as brain damage, a few herniated discs in his back, and a torn labrum. The Hawks initially put Parsons under the concussion protocol list after the accident,